sun unseen, the world is cold. Here I wait and here I stand, early morning northern hour hand, studying in solitude, looking for a hidden clue. I wish to see this world through my own eyes, to calm the elders and silence their cries. Because of you I now gaze up and sing the lullaby of the And at last I steal away, moving faster through the silent shade. Sea of stars like flowers bloom, looking for the hidden tomb. Here I found the present flame, forged by rock or shining lunar maid, shining down upon the earth. Now they'll see, I'll prove my worth. I wish to see this world through my own eyes, to calm the elders and silence their cries. Because of
Hello, everybody. My name is Macross, and with me today is somebody new. His name is Kevin Noteman Kyle.
Well, that's quite a fine introduction. I do enjoy that.
You're welcome.
A little
And
bit,
oh,
little
sorry.
bit more extravagant than I was expecting for my first time.
Well, here at Risen, we try to do it right. So up today, we have Cloud 10 versus the Sneaky Ticklers. Those guys will tickle your feet while you're sleeping. But
Yeah,
it should be an interesting game. This game actually has playoff implications because both Cloud 10 and Sneaky Ticklers are in the race. So it should be interesting to see how this game comes out.
yeah, and I do believe Cloud 10 has a slight advantage here, as they are not Cloud 9 and therefore do not have Sneaky on their team, so they cannot be subjected to any tickling.
Ouch. I actually met Sneaky in person in Chicago Worlds last year.
That's
He's
pretty awesome.
he's a lot taller than he looks.
The best that I can say is that I met what's his name? The former Dignitas mid laner, Shifter.
Shifter, not Skara.
That's no, not Skara. Have not met Skara.
I
But
also met
Shifter's
him
from
last
around
year,
where I
and
live,
I
so.
apparently insulted him. I asked him if he was going to come back to Dignitas and get back in the LCS, and he's like, no. And then Dignitas came back in the LCS, so he kind of lied to me. Just,
Eh,
just kind of.
well, I mean, Skara's not in yes, so he didn't lie there.
No. But he looked at me like I had just
He
punched him in
he
the
didn't
nuts.
want to give up that sweet stream money.
Right. All right. Well, it looks like teams will be getting into pick ban here shortly. So I'm going to see if we can transition over there and see how things are going. Do, 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 do. All right.
Okay.
And C10 with their first pick, and they ban a Mumu.
Yeah. So from what I've seen of Sneaky Ticklers, that's a really strong ban because their jungler tends to lean towards the tank junglers like Amumu. So that's taking one straight out of his pocket.
And they're taking the Aria away from. Oh, nope. They're.
Hasn't been locked in yet, so
And there it
yeah,
goes. Ari goes away from Journal 27. Zed taken away
very
from Love Fears.
quickly. Yeah. From what I've seen, prominent assassin player in the mid lane on Sneaky Ticklers there. So the Ari ban, I don't know if that's going to hurt them a bit more than Cloud 10. We'll have to see what Cloud 10's mid laner can pull out, and hope that Sneaky Ticklers doesn't end up banning out themselves here. And as I say that, they banned the LeBlanc as well. So a lot of assassin bans so far early on.
All right, and Katarina gets banned. It looks like this mid lane pool is just getting pinched.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like Cloud 10 came out with a definite plan to pinch Love Fear's pool, but then Love Fear is just like, well, we can play that game too.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you can do, I can do better. I can pinch my own pool better than anyone else.
Right. And the targeted Jax ban at Picadar up top, he's a very, what would be the word, overstated Jax main on the Discord of Risen Esports. So that's a
Yeah.
good ban on Sneaky Tickler's part.
And we have a first pick on the blue side of Lee Sin. So going for the strong jungle pick early on here. And looking at a first 80 carry pick with Misfortune, going for a bit more lane dominance with that pick.
Yeah, that'll transition pretty well into team fight phase if Sneaky Ticklers doesn't fall behind early in lane. I do kind of have to question the Lee Sin. I know Lee Sin by himself is a strong pick, but I've been overstated for a long time in saying that there isn't anybody outside of Diamond who is good at Lee Sin. Maybe high platinum if he's a one trick. But down in
Oh,
silver and bronze,
I mean, I'd like to think that I've got a pretty okay Lee Sin, but I mean, that's left to other people to decide. The Urgot coming out, so we're gonna get something nice. I'm guessing that's gonna be a mid lane Urgot, and looks like a Zyra support to try and counteract the Misfortune. Unfortunately, though, somebody didn't get the memo, and Misfortune's supposed to be the counter to Zyra.
yeah, that's kind of a scary pick into that. Uh,
Yeah.
Zyra being one of the lowest health supports and just champions in general in the game,
Yeah.
and Misfortune's early burst combo can take out half of her life in practically one hit if she aims it right.
Yeah, and at this point, if they really wanted to, they could flex that Misfortune still into the support role. And maybe even flex the Urgot down to AD carry, though it looks like we're going to have a brand support having a mage battle down in the bot lane between the supports. So I'm still thinking that Urgot's mid. We got a Nautilus top. I was looking at C10's top laner, Pekdar. Looks like he's been playing that Nautilus fairly well in ranked queues, so should be a fairly comfortable pick for him up in the top lane. And Nautilus in general is a pretty safe pick.
Yes. And it looks like Sneaky Ticklers either missing a ban or... Oh, no, they're saying that it was a Vayne and that the ban was missed. This pro draft is notorious for having issues with it.
Yeah, I can't say much for the tool. This first time I've seen it in use, so... looks like a Gragas ban coming out. Gragas, a really good top laner to play into those tank matchups where he just scales up and becomes an absolute monster in team fights, displacing your entire team, gets your AD carry into the enemy team's front line, and that's not where you want him to be.
Definitely not. And I actually do like the Gragas ban after the Nautilus pickup, because after Gragas, Nautilus is one of the heaviest engagers that you can have up in the top lane. So that takes away the other heavy engaged top laner that is currently in meta.
Yeah, I guess Maokai might be a choice here. He's got some fairly decent engage, not quite as good as before. He's a lot better at disengage and follow-ups now. There goes the Shen as well, so don't really want to play against the super heavy-duty tank top lanes, it seems, Cloud 10.
I understand what Cloud 10 is doing here, but I feel like it's kind of a misconnect against a King's Land, because from what I've seen from him, he prefers more carry style champions up in the top lane.
But from the looks of things, unless that Maokai's going in the jungle, which, in my opinion, the Maokai jungle isn't quite where you want him to go. I think he's still a top lane, really strong top lane pick right now, especially with his new ulti. It lets you take a more aggressive jungler like a Graves or something and really be able to control the top lane.
I've heard a
And
lot
looks
of
like we've got a
debate on that.
Fizz.
Oh, interesting. I wouldn't be surprised, Journal 27 taking that mid, as it's being one of the few assassins that wasn't pinched out of the pool.
Yeah, and we got the Caitlyn. So this will be an interesting matchup to watch in the bot lane now, with the two mage supports and then two very strong laning carries. While Caitlyn does have the range advantage on her basic auto attacks over Misfortune, you can't count out the factor of the double up from Misfortune, because if she hits that off of a near dead minion and hits it into Caitlyn, that's a lot of damage that Caitlyn just can't go up against early on.
Yeah. But that's all saying that they can deal with the range of the Caitlyn. Although I will admit that Misfortune and Brand is going to be a nightmare for this Zyra. Especially if Brand can land a stun onto Zyra, then she should be dead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The only thing Zara's really got going for her there is if she happens to pop a plant up in front of her, just in time to stop the stun. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this lane goes. Also looks like we've got Hecarim. I'm going to say jungle Hecarim.
Yeah, I
And
believe that
I'm gonna
Kind Boy has
just,
played Hecarim in the past.
yeah, I believe I saw it on one of their games earlier, or that might have been played against them. I don't know. But once again, I feel Maokai, between the two of them, Maokai I feel would be the stronger top laner, especially into this Nautilus matchup. I don't think Hecarim quite brings enough to the top lane in terms of scaling to keep up with the Nautilus. So, but he should give enough early game impact to really be able to help push one of these lanes into a decent advantage.
We'll just have to see if this Hecarim gets going early, because it's another thing that I found is that if Hecarim doesn't get going early, he doesn't have much impact in a game.
Yeah. I'm also really curious about this Urgot pick, because that is really early on to pick an Urgot, and I really think Fizz is a fairly good matchup into Urgot. While the early lane can be a little rough, as long as you dodge the canisters, it should be a fairly easy enough lane to you just sit under tower for a while, and then once Fizz hits 6, that Urgot's in trouble.
Right.
So, Urgot could build a Hex Drinker early, but I don't feel he really builds into Hex Drinker and a lot of MR naturally. He tends to go more of the armor route with things like the Frozen Gauntlet and Glacial Shroud and things like that. So having them up against an AP assassin in the mid lane might not be the best scenario for Sneaky Ticklers here.
Yeah, I'm still just taken aback by the Urgot in general. I mean, the last time we saw an Urgot was like 2 seasons ago, I want to say. It was kind of popular in mid for a little bit.
Yeah, no, it was season. I believe you're correct. It was season 5 that I don't know if it was Korea or North America that brought it out first. I think it might have been a Korean solo queue thing that North America brought into the LCS, and it really gained popularity there. Because I know it was Keen who was the first guy to really jump on that Urgot hype train. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, though. But as you said, haven't really seen a whole lot of Urgot. I saw him still played a little bit here and there over the course of Season 6. Haven't really seen him in Season 7 yet, so can't really say as to how strong he is in the meta right now, but should be an interesting matchup.
Yeah, definitely. And if Urgot can get ahead, he'll be really annoying for Cloud10 to try to deal with.
Yeah, that is the one thing about Urgot is he is a pain in the butt one way or another. If he gets ahead, it's a pain in the butt for the enemy team. If he falls behind, he's a pain in the butt for your team.
Oh, okay, and it appears we had some miscommunication in the draft, and Zed wasn't actually one of the bans that Cloud10 tried to do. They tried to do Katarina instead of Zed, and I guess they made an agreement with ST, and ST ended up picking up the Zed in the mid lane.
Okay, that's interesting. That makes things a lot different. And honestly, I'm kind of disappointed now. Here we were hyping up the Urgot pick, and now it's gone.
Yes, but Fizz versus Zed seems like an interesting matchup as well. We all get those assassins in the mid lanes, despite half of them being banned.
Yeah, no, the majority of the assassin roster being banned out, kind of an interesting choice there. But I would say this matchup leans towards Fizz just ever so slightly. Not by much. I'd say maybe 60-40 matchup for Fizz. And overall, this should be just a skill matchup. So we'll have to take a really good look at how well both the players go at it here.
Right. Yeah, Fizz being able to troll pull Zed's ult is
And Zed
definitely.
being able to ult the fish. So
Yes.
it's who flinches first matchup, really.
Right. Although Fizz, as of right now, is going with teleport, whereas Zed has taken Ignite. So
So
Zed
that's
definitely leveraging that kill potential in lane.
yeah, trying to look for that early snowball. But if he doesn't get it, then that teleport might be a huge payoff for Cloud10 in the late game. Being able to split push with both Nautilus and Fizz and get some pretty good flanks from either of those champions. So I'll have to see how Love Fear handles himself in the laning phase and if he's aggressive enough to get a couple kills. Just waiting for the spectator delay now, obviously. Got about 2 minutes before that. So
And then another few minutes.
yeah, and depends on how fast it loads. And Nautilus Maokai, it's a matchup we've seen for a season and a half now, I want to say.
Yeah, a pretty wet noodle fight.
Yeah.
I think Nautilus right now has the edge in wave clear, but neither of
he might not anymore, thanks to the change in the saplings. I don't know for sure. Although that being said, actually, yeah, you're probably right. Nautilus does have it since the saplings don't do the impact damage anymore, so it made Maokai's clear a lot less safe early on. And it's kind of hard to use the bush to get all of the minions with empowered sapling, I would guess. So,
right.
yeah, Lee Sin and Hecarim that is a matchup I haven't seen for a while. So, I don't know how well Hecarim does in this current jungle. I have not seen a whole lot of him.
Yeah, I haven't either, which I'm thankful for. But in general, you would think any jungler with good AoE damage and quick clear should do pretty well in the jungle. However, Hecarim is kind of notorious for having a difficult time in the early jungle, at least until his first pack. And Lee Sin could punish that pretty heavily if he's a smart Lee Sin.
Mm-hmm. But in theory, Hecarim could do an early Raptor start to get a faster level 3 than Lee Sin, because I don't see Lee Sin being able to do that with the Fizz in the mid lane this game, just because he won't really be able to get much help for it. So Hecarim could be looking to do a really early topside gank with a very fast level 3. And that could really, if one of those two wet noodles gets slightly tougher than the other, it actually snowballs the lane pretty hard.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. Excuse me. Oopsies.
Alrighty.
And yeah, while we get everything loaded up, we're just going to be... I don't know, so what are your thoughts coming into this game? Who do you think is
Overall,
gonna win?
it's a tough call. I'd say based solely on the draft, Cloud 10 seemed to have a stronger draft, in my opinion. I think the Lee Sin, even if he's only a bronze or silver Lee Sin, does have the stronger early game. Caitlyn, Zyra, really strong laning phase, and Nautilus is just a ridiculous tank come late game. So they have the tools to be able to push a fairly strong early game into a really strong late game.
Okay, and it looks like the match is loading up right now, so...
Yeah. Looks like I'm in at least for second.
And the teams will be getting in here in just a moment.
There we go.
There we go.
So we got the summoners loaded into the rift. Just waiting for the doors to open. 15 seconds to pass. And head off to the races. So it looks, based on how they're leaving the base, Hecarim will not be going for the Raptors start. So that whole little thing about an early level 3, forget that. Doesn't exist.
Welcome to the Summoner's Rift.
It looks like neither team is really going to go for an invade. They're just going to ward each
Yeah.
other out in the pixel bush. And then just go for a standard wall across the river.
Yeah. Basic line of scrimmage set up here. Both teams will be starting on the bot side, so we might be looking at level about 3-minute top lane battle, depending on how the junglers want to play it. I imagine Lee Sin really wants to get in there if he can. I don't know how well Hecarim will be able to clear, if he'll be ready for a counter gank at that point, but we'll have to see how well they do at 3 minutes.
And it looks like Cloud10 is being as annoying as possible, pinging each other out nonstop. And there they go again.
Yeah. Just had to wait for the cooldowns. It's all about that cooldown macro game here. Managing not only their spell cooldowns, but their their ping cooldowns. And Vector taking a lot of damage. He ran into the wrong kitty cat bush.
Meowkai with those empowered little minions of his chunking
Saplings.
out the Kadar. Saplings, thank you.
Yeah. Turns out those cats had claws, and those claws ripped through steel armor.
Ooh.
So.
I almost had an unsafe for broadcast thought there. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, let's skip over that. Let's keep this broadcast PG, please. I don't want to be kicked off air for running an R-rated broadcast on my first night.
Well, it looks like right now everyone's just doing their little poke battle and CSing. Even though a Kingsland was able to chunk out the Kadar, it doesn't really look like he was able to leverage any real benefit from that.
No, it was early enough that Kadar was able to get his way back into top lane with the teleport pretty quickly, so I don't think he missed out on too many minions in the course of that. And once again, it's a giant wet noodle fight. But we do have the Ignite going down in mid lane. Love Fear flashing forward, and Hecarim gets in, turning the side there. But in the top lane, King's Landing, Dubslov finding that 3-minute gank. Flash away will be safe, and that's a 1-for-0 so far for Sneaky Ticklers.
Yeah, that was good of a King's Land to hold onto his flash there instead of to react right away with it. He's just walking it out. He's like, I'm a big old tree, you're not going to get me. And just trades a flash. And then wastes even more of Dubslaw's time as he comes back around for a second attempt.
Yeah. That second attempt was a little poorly timed because Kadar was not in position to take advantage of that. There's that Q damage. Level 1, that still does a heck of a lot of damage.
And there's the brand Q and the burn, and this Caitlyn is feeling it right now.
Yeah, but Kadar coming back. He does bought a couple more potions, I believe, but that's all he could get after. Or, no, I guess he didn't back at the start yet, so. But he is pushing a King's Landing back in lane, so hopefully he'll be able to turn a bit of an advantage there, and we'll have to watch how mid lane goes now that Zed's got that first blood advantage. Might be a real tough time for the Fizz.
And right now it looks like everyone is pretty even in lane, aside from Hey What's Up Hello opening up a 10 CS lead over Nader Bugs.
Yeah, and Love Fear not being able to spend that first blood gold yet, kind of lost out on a trade pretty hard there in the mid lane, so he will be hanging around for a bit, not backing yet, so interesting call there. King's Landing and Kadar, you're not really going to do anything there, so A little bit of a scuffle back and forth.
Lee Sin sitting on a ward,
Yeah.
not realizing it yet, so he's just standing there in bush waiting until he gets the gank.
Yeah.
But it looks like that ward timed out and let him know, oh, I've been spotted.
Yeah. And I don't know if you caught that, but that was a ridiculous double up that shouldn't have hit. And Gerald might be in trouble. I'm guessing not, because spectator mode just jumped me away from him.
Yeah, it did the same to me.
So.
If you use the number keys 1 through 5 and then W through T, you can tell it where to go.
I got it. But
Hey, what's up below? Taking even more damage, but it looks like she's gonna be safe. But she's sticking around. Oh, there she goes, trying to back. But
yeah, so
I don't know. With a brand there, I don't think she needs to be that close when she's backing.
Yeah, but that Zyra's running distraction for her there, so she's pretty safe. Looks like Zyra will be backing as well, so a little bit of an advantage going over to Sneaky Ticklers in the bot lane there. Hopefully, we'll get that lane pushed in before Caitlyn gets back so they can try and deny some CS. Because despite all the harass, Caitlyn was holding the CS lead before she backed.
Well, it doesn't really look like they were they were sharing that same mindset with you, because they certainly took their time with it, and this Caitlyn should be able to pick up that entire wave.
Or, you know, they could just make me mad as an AD carry player and miss most of it.
Right.
That works too.
It looked like Caitlyn opted for the early Berserker's Greaves, and MF got a pair of boots and a
the
fairy
early
charm.
pickaxe.
Oh yeah, or did I say MF? I meant Zyra.
Yeah, Zyra. Yeah. Yeah, kind of an interesting choice in terms of. Oh, hold up 1 second. We got a stun down on the Zyra. She'll burn down, take a lot more damage. That's about 80% of her health gone right away.
Zed solo killing Journal 27 again.
I didn't even
not
get
again.
to see that.
Yeah, Zed went all in on the Fizz, got off his Ignite, and dipped Zed out of there before Lee Sin could show up, picking up the solo kill.
Yeah, Brand is getting rooted up in the bot lane. That's a headshot crit. And that's a lot of damage, but not enough to finish him off. The heal comes out from Misfortune, keeping him
Here
safe.
comes Hecarim.
Comes in to chase him off. Everything will be safe down in the bot lane. Yeah, so Love Fear taking some dominance in the mid lane now. Taking advantage of that first blood gold. Fairly substantial item lead there, too.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of events in the bot lane, considering that MF and Brand were the ones that got the upgraded damage items, and they're the ones poked out of the lane first.
Yeah, it's a close one. Lee Sin will be spotted out by a ward there. Lands on the trap. The kick does not connect, though. That could have been a kill. Probably would have traded back, but, you know, worth, right? Oh, there comes the ulti. Brand's going to pay for it, though. He does not go down. Dubslal stays alive under the tower, and double kill down in the bot lane. Well, 2 kills in the bot lane, 1 for Lee Sin, 1 for Zyra. That's exactly where you want that money going, right to the support and the jungler.
Of course.
Meanwhile, Hecarim up in the top lane. He's gonna jump onto the Nautilus, but there's not much there. Zed going all in on the Fizz, does not have enough to kill him with the Death Mark, and will get out with a bunny hopping after him. So, a lot of action going on here right now.
Zed is just using that on cooldown at this point. And the only
absolutely.
reason Fizz was able to live through that is because Zed used his Ignite in the last fight.
Yeah. I do have to call into question the Zed's pickup of the mallet rather than a Hex Drinker, though, for the early game. While, yeah, he's getting the kills now, a Hex Drinker will help snowball it by making sure that Fizz can never do enough damage to kill it.
True.
So, really an interesting choice there, especially considering he's choosing to go into these fights constantly with Fizz.
And it looks like neither of the supports are opting for the Sight Stone yet. They're both looking for more damage in the early game instead of keeping wards up against these very gank-heavy junglers.
Yeah, and one more interesting thing to look at is up in the top lane, Nautilus choosing to go for the early defensive stats, whereas Maokai goes for the standard AP top laner build of the 3 Doran's rings, help out with his wave clear. So that's another one you got to call into question when you're 0-0. Probably as Nautilus, you want to go for those 3 Doran's rings because that's a lot stronger on you than it is on Maokai.
Right. I mean, if you notice right now, Kadar is at half of his mana pool, whereas the King's Land is completely full. And the King's Land hasn't pushed into turret, and he's slowly eking out a CS lead.
Yeah. And those 3 Doran's rings, if you have them, your Riptide does a lot of damage to those caster creeps, and it helps you clear those waves really easily.
Yes.
So, really, some poor, in my opinion, poor decisions on item builds early in the game. We do see a Yomu's Ghostblade finished up for Zed, so he's going to have a lot more fun in the mid lane. Going in hard, gets the ulti off, but will jump back after the Fizz ult lands. Busts a flash around the minions as well. And Misfortune double upsetter, making me mad because I can never get those to work. That one went sideways. That was not in the code. So yeah, Zed kind of losing out on those trades by choosing to continuously ulti the Fizz under tower.
Oh, and Dubsall finds Kind Boy in his jungle and chunks him out.
Will be able to make it out, yeah. The ulti is burned from Hecarim though, so that loses a lot of gank pressure. King's Landing is putting down a lot of damage though onto Dubsall. He might be in trouble here.
Ooh, and the smart Meow Kai sapling into the bush ahead of where Dubsall is going to be walking.
Yeah,
I really like that foresight
able
on
to
the
make
King's
it out.
Land.
Really great play. Unfortunately for him though, Kadar did come up to help the Lee Sin, and unfortunately Maokai's not quite strong enough to 2v1 that yet.
Right.
So, seems like despite all the action going on, things have calmed down a little bit in terms of deaths though. So, be interesting to see. Caitlyn interrupting the back timing for Misfortune, so she'll have to hang around so that she can try and catch this wave here, or not. You know.
And hey,
there.
what's up? Hello, opening up a 20 CS lead over Naderbugs.
Yeah, and that a lot stronger of a build coming out too, because Misfortune not really the best with a crit cloak, because no AD carry is really good with a crit cloak. That item kind of sucks. It builds into one of the best AD carry items in the game, but it on itself sucks, and Caitlyn's going to take full advantage of that with the BF sword instead.
Yeah, that's just part of Cloud 10 being able to push the Sneaky Ticklers into their lane and opening the CS lead, and MF not being able to afford the actual items she wants.
Yeah.
And Cloud 10 going to get this first turret just through lane pressure.
Yeah, most of the gold going over to the Caitlyn there. Zyra was in range, I believe, for a bit of that tower gold, so she didn't get the full solo experience. Caitlyn kind of misses on that, on the trap there, but...
oh, and the Hecarim gets killed.
Yeah. Lee Sin getting chased down now, will be ulted by Zed, gets the safeguard onto Fizz, and Zed will not have the damage to follow up and kill him, manages to make it out alive. Caitlyn's ace in the hole will not land. Brand with the block on that one. So, a lot more action, only one death though. A lot of flashing life bars at the end of that one.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, that Hecarim just wasn't expecting the Lee Sin there, and then when he ulted in, the Lee Sin was right on top of him.
Yeah, that will be an Infernal Drake going over to Cloud 10. I have to resist saying Cloud 9, since that's been burned into my brain after years of LCS.
Right.
So that's going to really... Infernal Drake in a late-game team comp, kind of good. So
Definitely.
things are really going the way of Cloud 10 right now. The next Drake coming up will be another Infernal Drake, so that will have to be contested by both teams. And we see Nautilus going into Maokai, Maokai slapping him, Nautilus slapping him, and nobody takes damage because everyone has shields. And it's a wet noodle fight, people. Really, the spectator mode should just, like, ignore those two champions if they're ever on the Rift in top lane together.
And Arcanine flashing out from the Zed and the Brand.
Yeah, a very good flash. Zed not quite managing to land the death mark in time to follow her, and does escape with her life. Gets a good amount of damage onto Brand, actually, as well.
Yeah, it looks like right now both teams are pretty much just farming. They're still in a laning phase mode. Despite the fact that Cloud 10 has already taken one of these turrets, they're still sending their bot lane down into the bot lane to CS. And
yeah, well, that's where you get the most CS, right? Is in your lane. Why would you ever go anywhere else? Why would you ever want to play macro game?
right. I feel
Play for
like
yourself.
both teams are missing opportunities with that. Because Cloud 10 could be looking to speed this game up. You know, put their bot lane in mid, send that Fizz down bottom, and let him soak up that free CS. And,
does go down onto Caitlyn in the bot lane, but nothing comes of that. She just nets out of that. Pretty
Right.
safe.
And Sneaky Ticklers, this Hecarim should be bot and killing Hey What's Up Hello on this Caitlyn. She shouldn't be alive right now. Especially with her support roaming up the top lane.
But her support dies, so in the end, isn't that what really matters? That some people die. And
Yes,
Kadar looks like he'll be going down too, gets the flash away, but not far enough away. Love Fear comes in, gets another one. I think that's going to be the win condition for Sneaky Ticklers here, is playing off of Love Fear and this massive advantage that he's getting himself.
Right. But,
So-
again, Sneaky Ticklers are letting themselves be bullied by a single champion in the bot lane. It's a 1v2. You guys can win that even with lower stats. Well, maybe not after that headshot, but...
And King's Landing going down to the top lane, getting caught out. There comes the MF ulti, and the Brand burn enough to take her out.
There you go. That's exactly what should have happened about 3 minutes ago.
You know, they just wanted to increase the dramatic effect. And
Indeed.
Kind Boy dashing onto a minion there. Not gonna find a Lee Sin. That's a blue caster minion, not Lee Sin. See, one is blind,
And the other one's
and
a
the
monk.
other's a minion. So, Cloud10 looking at the Rift Herald right now. That's going to be an interesting pickup. That will really increase the pace for Cloud10 if they get this. Kind Boy does scout them out with a pink ward, and it doesn't look like Cloud10 wants to risk the 50-50 on that.
Yeah, that's smart by Cloud 10. There's no need to force it. At worst, both teams just give it up because now neither team has the time to get it at 19 minutes and 30 seconds, but that's no loss for Cloud 10.
Yeah, pretty sure that's the entire reason behind that whole go is it's about to die anyways. If they don't come and check it, we get it for free. And if they come check it, whatever, they don't get it anyways.
Right.
And Fizz dodging out on the death mark does land the ulti onto Zed. He is able to shadow dash away, and Kindboy does manage to block the Lee Sin Q, gets him out safely. That was a close call.
But the Hecarim ulting out there, I don't really feel he needed to use that to get out of that situation.
You know, it was a close call. Emotions were high, tempers were fierce, and you know, he just misclicked.
Oh, and Journal jumping in.
3 people.
And he dies to the Hecarim, as Hecarim having a quietly really good game.
How is he 2-1-2?
Right.
Caitlyn, you may have found the right fight. I was gonna say the wrong fight, but you may have found the right fight.
Caitlyn picking up the 1-for-1 there, really good on her.
Yeah.
At Brand, I don't know what he was doing, how he missed his stun in that fight. Lee Sin picking up, hey, what's up, hello, and Zed coming in and picking up Arcanine Killer. So overall, a 2-for-2 in the bot lane.
Yeah. So bot lane just gets killed. That's how
But
it happens,
it looks like Sneaky Ticklers is going to get Drake preference over that fight. So overall, they may have gotten the bigger victory down bot.
I don't think they'll end up going for it though. I think they'll just Lee Sin steals away the Scuttle Crab. That cheeky bugger.
Does he have his smite available? Will he have it available for Drake? Yes, he will.
It's about to be up. Unless he's stupid and uses it on the Raptors.
But Kindboy looking like he wants it back. Yeah. Was really odd, but he's just...
It's not fair.
He was just trying to fake out Cloud 10 there and be like, hi, look at me rear, I'm a pony.
Yeah, Love Fear looking around, wants to find a juicy support. Doesn't quite find the right angle onto that. There was a mid lane Fizz sitting right behind her, so good call on not going hard.
It looks like Sneaky Ticklers have given up their viewing dominance over the Drake and are letting Cloud 10 just come in and take it back over.
Yeah, that's exactly right. There are still some wards in the area, though none straight on the Drake, so we may see Cloud 10 get in on it. Brand is there and sees them starting it up. Hecarim coming in to contest. They're chasing down the Caitlyn.
When the Caitlyn goes down, Zyra flashes out. Lee Sin jumps in and dies.
Be the fight for Sneaky Ticklers, but Fizz is there, gets to hop over the wall, not even with his playful trickster, and he should make it out all right. But that will be Infernal Drake over to Sneaky Ticklers.
And overall, a 2-for-1 and the Drake over to Sneaky Ticklers. They were smart and decided not to chase that pesky Fizz. Yeah. And now the game is tied up with 2 Infernals apiece. And Sneaky Ticklers have also tied up the game as well. They were down about 1,000 gold just before that, and now they're up about 300.
Yeah. So, really close game that we got here. Sneaky Ticklers does have the kill advantage, too. And I think Zed made it out of there alive?
No, the Fizz got him.
Fizz did... Okay, yeah, Fizz did get him in the end. That's why the one death came from. But yeah.
It looks like Lee Sin saying, this is my blue buff, you are not allowed to have it, fish.
Yeah, well, you know, he needs that mana regen.
Yes, he does.
All about the mana.
Lee Sin is the most mana-hungry jungler I'm aware of.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, it's not that bad on him, because it does provide some energy regen. Although Lee Sin does have very good natural energy regen, it helps out a little bit.
Oh, the Zanya's just in time, and Fizz will pick up another kill onto Zed. Good bait by Journal 27 there.
And, you know, Fizz doesn't need the blue buff, clearly. Just killed his lane opponent. So all the power to the junglers, right?
And a super intense fanatical fight in the top lane between two wet noodles.
Yep. And the MF ulti coming out doesn't quite clear the full wave, but it does push Cloud 10 off the tower there in the mid lane. That is probably what Sneaky or Cloud 10 will be looking to pick up next for a big objective, so they can really open up the map. Because so far, just the 2 towers going down, one on each side, and God, that wet noodle fight in top lane. There is no damage going on here.
It's a little sad that this is the most interesting thing going on the map right now.
Yeah.
Oh, a death bush coming up.
Death bush coming in, but it's
Oh!
kind of spotted out. Hey guys, we can see you.
And the death bush backfiring on Cloud 10.
Yeah. Little known fact by Silvers, you can actually see people with the red trinket.
Yes, you can.
So that's one way for you to check over a wall if you ever have that feeling that somebody's in the bush and you don't have a ward.
It was a good job by Sneaky Ticklers to not just let their Hecarim go and check out wards by himself. They actually roamed with him.
Team's turret has been destroyed.
And looks like Sneaky Ticklers are going to pick up mid lane turret for their trouble there.
Yeah.
And the second tier as well.
Second tier. And the engage by Hecarim. Love Fear fighting off a bit more than he can chew, but will pick up Lee Sin on the back end of that. Caitlyn gets him with the ace in the hole to tie up the kills.
And Zyra goes
double
down
kill.
as well.
Apparently.
I don't
never
know
even
why
saw her in that
Zyra
fight.
was in the middle of that, but apparently she
I'm
has to
actually
be
going
up close
back
and
'cause
personal.
I'm curious about that. Yep, so Zyra just, walked straight into the team.
Interesting. So, melee form Zyra.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
And flashes exchanged up top. Oh, and hey, what's up? Hello. Flashing as well, straight into a sapling to slow her down.
But the macro plague is actually coming out from Sneaky Ticklers. Because, guess what? They just got another tower.
Yeah, and that's good on them. 3 in the bot lane. Zed took his time buying, well, he took his time with dying, and now he's back up. Looks like he's heading to pick up a blue buff.
Had a great distraction up in the top lane.
Yeah, and
Pushing
he made it
hard,
out
but he's
alive,
also
which is all you
Maokai,
can ask.
so- Yeah, because he's Maokai.
Right.
And
And
he don't take
Maokai
no
now
fast.
completing the Sunfire and the Spirit Visage.
Yeah.
So he's
And
well
getting
onto
the
his way to
engage
being
on
an
Snowball.
unmovable tree.
But turns out Lee Sin can kick trees.
Apparently.
Yeah. MF ulti coming out, Zed ulti coming out as well. Deathmark will kill Arcanine Killer, sorry. And that's a little bit of a trade because Zed, a little bit dead, went in, and Brad, you're out of position.
Ooh.
That's Nautilus with a hook.
And so 3 for 1 there picked up by Cloud 10, and they're turning things right back around, taking the mid lane turret, and evening this game back up once again.
Yeah, I see Cloud 10 taking the old Roddy Piper strategy. Just when you think Sneaky Ticklers has all the answers, Cloud 10 changes the questions.
And you can definitely tell that Dubs Lol has been watching Bloodsport with his Lee Sin. You gotta kick the trees hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, a pretty solid game coming out from Lee Sin. 5-2 and 5 so far. Really being the carry of this team right now. Most kills and overall team participation coming out from Lee Sin.
10. He's been involved in 10 kills out of 12, which is a really high mark.
Pretty solid number.
Definitely.
I'd say
Considering your
that's-
support is only 6 for 12, which is also not bad, 50%. But I'll go for 10 out of 12 over 6 any day.
Yeah. Yeah. In the lower tier levels like us that aren't quite at LCS level, 50% isn't bad. And,
We got another team fight going on.
Kind of caught up in the wrong place. Couldn't quite get out of out of there fast enough after taking down the top lane tower, and Sneaky Ticklers with the collapse. Looking at the Baron, there's no vision around for Cloud10. They have no idea this is going down.
They really
And
should
it's going
expect
down
it,
pretty
though.
fast.
And here they go. They're moving up now.
It's too late. We might see a fight out of this. MF does get rooted up, but no follow-up coming out. No Nautilus to tank for the front line of Cloud10, so they'll just take, hey, what's up, hello, split pushing down in the bot lane. I don't think she'll be able to get this tower, though.
And that was a really good call by Sneaky Ticklers, knowing that they had that window and taking it as quickly as possible as a whole team. Everyone following the call, so good job for them.
Yeah, and hey, what's up, hello, not anywhere near the team, so she can't help out in that situation and doesn't even manage to get to the tower in time for the split push. So really good call coming out of Sneaky Ticklers. Looks like they're grouping 4 in the mid lane, Zed off on the side, split pushing. That's who you want to be your split pusher right now, because, I mean, who really wants to fight that Zed right now?
No one on Cloud10's side, that's for sure. Maybe the blind monk if he just wanders in there and he doesn't notice it's actually Zed. But other than that...
And Zed will be getting onto the tower. Gets a fair chunk of damage. Ace in the hole coming out from Caitlyn. Zyra with the chase down as well, but he just Yomu's his way out of there. And Kadar trying to cut off Sneaky Ticklers as they push in the mid lane here.
And it looks like Lee Sin is going to stay down and try to defend the turret, but now he's moving up with his team. The long range Nautilus
did
engage.
come out, but he's in a bit of no man's land because no one on Cloud 10 can back him up. But he is tanky enough that he can take out 2 members with a little bit of help from his friends. Kingsland chasing down the Fizz right now. Decides to go back onto the Lee Sin to try and tie up an extra kill.
And Cloud10 with the ace.
Ace. 5 for 2. That's a pretty clean fight coming out from someone with no Baron buff.
Yeah, definitely. And it just seemed like Hecarim and Maokai tried to dive the back line of Cloud10, but Fizz is really hard to stick to, and they just left their carries up for grab.
Yeah, overall, it was a fairly decent setup from Sneaky Ticklers, with Nautilus running way far ahead of the rest of the team, and then Maokai cut off the access point to Nautilus with his new ulti that just takes up the entire lane. But unfortunately, Nautilus was just too tanky for the backline of Sneaky Ticklers to deal with, taking everything that Misfortune and Brand had to offer, which really at this stage isn't a whole lot. But still, that's not how you want a fairly well set up fight to go.
Right. Yeah, and in that fight, Maokai should have just turned around and peeled on that Nautilus, kept him from interrupting Misfortune's ult and the Brand ult coming out, so that they could actually leverage their damage onto the carries. But instead, he chased after the Hecarim to try to dive the backline and left all their damage behind.
Yep. And Nautilus just with so much armor right now, Misfortune can't even tickle him at this point.
I see what you did.
I mean, that's in the team name. Just in case anyone missed the joke.
And it looks like Lee Sin is coming out with a Guardian Angel, so he's going to look to be even more annoying than he already was.
Yeah. The new Guardian Angel with a little bit of damage added in thanks to that BF sword replacing the magic resist on Guardian Angel. So he's going to hit a bit harder, and he's already got 7 kills. So what are you going to do about that? Kind of interesting setup here. The Kingsland getting the knockback onto Kadar, and it looks like Sneaky Ticklers will be chased out of mid lane by just having Cloud 10 sit in the red side jungle.
Had Sneaky Ticklers had any vision up at all, they would have realized that Cloud 10 was completely spread out and they could have turned on anybody they wanted.
Yeah. Though they didn't, so... hey, what's up? Hello. Sitting pretty good at 6-4 and 6 so far. Couple more items coming out from her over the Misfortune. A lot of crit chance in that build right now. All that she's missing is a Last Whisper to deal with the Maokai. Though I believe that the headshot and trap procs have been working well enough so far.
I would have maybe preferred the Last Whisper before a rapid fire cannon or the Bloodthirster, and then gone for maybe a GA, just with the assassins and Hecarim on Sneaky Tickler's side. I feel that would be a safer build. But I guess he feels that he's far enough ahead, he doesn't have to worry about getting one shot.
Yeah, I mean, 40% damage chunk off of one auto attack to Love Fear there, and that's not who you want to be chunked out if you're Sneaky Ticklers.
No. And Maokai TPing in.
Around. Maokai gets the ulti down into the pit. Hecarim diving in as well. Misfortune gets her ulti interrupted, and Nautilus is just going ham on the backline there. Kindboy trapped in the Dragon Pit as well. At King's Land, you're kind of in trouble there. Zed gets the ulti onto Lee Sin and will be able to make it out until he gets... Didn't want to turn back for that one, Zed.
And again, Sneaky Ticklers just leave their backline to get jumped on by Fizz.
Caitlyn, you might want to help Dubslol out here. He's kind of getting beat up by Kingsland. And he will be going down here. Caitlyn picking up the ace. And a really good engage by Sneaky Ticklers, but just too much damage coming out from the backline. Hey, what's up? Hello. Just managing to get out of that pit and get into a really strong position where she just hammered away onto the front line of Sneaky Ticklers there.
Yeah, and Fizz coming around from the side with the flank, following in the Lee Sin after Nautilus with a great ultimate to interrupt MF right as she started to channel her ult.
Yeah. No, that was a huge changer there with Nautilus just sitting in the brand and MF and not caring whatsoever. Hecarim, you don't want to fight that Fizz. He's a little bit stronger than you right now. So, Sneaky Ticklers, I don't know if there's a really good way for them to be able to get back in this game. Unless Cloud 10 does something really stupid, they should be able to just pace this game out, keep scaling with Caitlyn getting her last item there, Zyra picking up a few more items, doing more damage. Not Maokai, Nautilus has another item to go till he's full build, so... I mean, you're already not killing the Nautilus, and he's still got more room for tank stats.
Right. Nautilus already has 3 armor items on top of Ninja Tabai. So he's looking pretty immovable for Sneaky Tickler's comp.
Yeah.
This brand is definitely not going to be doing enough damage to him at this point.
Dubslaw is being taken on by Lovefear, though, and he does manage to get away from it all. Kindboy kicked back. Lovefear going down along with Kindboy there. Nautilus is rooted up, but do they have the damage to take him out? His Fortune ulti canceled again.
Wow.
And she goes down. Maokai, the only one that's left. Zyra's actually alive at the end of the fight. It's a bloody miracle.
Quadra kill coming out for Fizz and Journal 27. And it looks like Cloud 10's going to come and try to push for the end here.
Looks like Caitlyn's trying for the Baron. Just gonna solo that one out. Get out of there, Zyra. You will die.
Caitlin's like,
Dubs
I'm
Law
strong
will be
enough to
coming in
solo
to help
Baron.
Oh, absolutely at this point. And, you know, what more do you need to say? That was a very decisive win.
Yeah, and Fizz already pushing up the lane to mid turret. But looks like the rest of the team isn't going to follow him in, so he's just going to take the turret and walk out.
Yeah. So that is an open inhibitor. Not quite downed yet, but it is open and available to go. And with the Baron buff, it'll be really easy to put out some side lane pressure using Nautilus or Fizz. Fizz does not quite have his TP up yet. Nautilus does have his, so we'll have to see if he chooses to go into one of the side lanes to split push while the rest of the team pressures somewhere else. Caitlyn grabbing the red buff and backing.
So, explain to us exactly what happened with that Lee Sin there, because it looked like a really great engage by Lovefear. It looked like he had cleanly picked him off, but then what happens?
So, Lovefear got a really good start off on Lee Sin on Dubs Law there. Managed to chunk him down to half health before even using his ulti. So, really, you think Dubs Law is about to die, and then he manages to get the safeguard out, kicks Lovefear back and away immediately after the ulti, so no damage comes out to top off the ulti, and gets the shield from his W and possibly someone else. Not just the armor stacking enough to keep him alive at very low health and get away cleanly, and that just left Caitlyn to attack a rather damaged Zed and the rest of the team that can't keep up with how much damage she's putting out. So
Lee Sin diving all the way into the end hit to the Nexus turrets. And making it right back out.
Misfortune's dead. Maokai ulti comes out. Caitlyn tanks a couple tower shots for fun because she can.
And Zed picking up Arcanine Killer again. Trying to base race, but he's against 4. I doubt he's going to win that.
Yeah. Lovefear is pushing in. He will stop his push, though. Because, hey, what's up, hello? What's up is your towers are dead.
And both Nexus turrets are down. Sekiram's trying to pick off anyone he can. But all they managed to do so far is take down Lee Sin's Guardian Angel. But they do take out the Brand.
And the Fizz, and the Nautilus. But hey, what's up, hello? You cannot leave him alone.
And Lee Sin just takes down the Nexus by himself.
Yeah.
And the game was apparently ended without a result. I think the result is clear. Cloud 10 wins that match.
Cloud 10 with a very decisive late game.
And I really got to give it to Dubs Law, MVP of that game. Even though Journal 27 coming in with a quadra kill, I still think that Lee Sin was way more important to them winning the match than the Fizz was. Making me eat my words at the beginning of the match, so...
The Lee Sin was probably one of the key factors for their early game. Not early game. There wasn't a whole lot that they did in their early game, but the mid-game success, Lee Sin did come up very huge, and that let them get into the late game Caitlyn, which, by the way, did 50,000 damage. 5-0.
Wow. Let's get a comparison.
It's a little bit of damage. In comparison, MF on the other side, if we compare direct rolls, that might be only about 12,000.
Wow. And
so,
the next highest person overall was Brand with almost 27,000.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Caitlyn almost doubling the damage of anyone else in that match.
Yeah. Lee Sin, clearly the MVP of the early mid game, but you don't touch late game Caitlyn.
No. I feel like there might be some new bans coming out in the second game.
There might be a few. So, and we'll just have to wait to see how that goes. Really, not a whole lot to say because we had time to talk about that game mid-game because Cloud 10 just started running with it.
Yeah. It was a really close game until some of those mid-game team fights came in, and Cloud 10 just, I think, with the better overall communication in the team fights, enabled to win them out despite there being no specific gold lead for either team.
Yeah, that being said, Sneaky Ticklers did have a fairly good run of a couple towers there. They really played the map well, got themselves an Infernal Drake, pushed the lanes at the right time, got a couple good picks, and started to eke out their own lead, but then something happened and Cloud 10 did their thing.
Are you drunk, Moose?
No. 3 a.m. and I'm bored.
Okay. That was...
Ladies and gentlemen,
we just got
3 a.m.
invaded by a
and I'm
moose. And
it's
so,
nothing surprising. I'm in Canada. I see that every day.
well, this moose is currently out in Europe, and he's very bored, apparently.
Apparently.
All right. Well, would you like to take a short break here while these teams get the next match set up?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good idea. Because, once again, well, we've talked about this game a whole lot. There's not a whole lot left to say. And we'll have extra time with the 3 minutes we gotta wait for the next game. So.
All right, guys, you heard it. I'll put on some music, and we'll be back shortly. Hello, everybody. I'm Macross, along with Noteman, and a special caster, Unlimited Gamers, is joining us for this match, and we are back.
I should probably unmute myself.
That would be helpful.
I I have actually casted a game muted before. It
I
wasn't
have.
it wasn't for any tournament or anything. I was just doing it for practice, and I recorded it all. And then I went back to watch it, and I'm like, I just casted 3 games muted, didn't I?
Oh, I did that for a game actually a week or two ago here on Risen, so don't feel too bad.
Yeah, on the bright side, my mistake was the only person who knew about it was me. And everyone who I just told now.
All right, Unlimited, do you have anything to say about that last match?
I mean, not just he popped off. He was like completely tanking. Like he had 3 armor items and stuff. He just Q, E, Alt, and then the team would just jump in and they would just annihilate Sneaky Ticklers.
All right, you better be careful there, Harrison.
Pretty good summary, yeah.
You're gonna make Picador frickin' hold you to that and never shut up about it. All right, well, it looks like we're gonna jump straight into picking bands here. So let me transition on over. All right, and Cloud 10 will be on red side this game. So we're going to see if Sneaky Ticklers can actually hold out and make this a real series.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how the bans change out, because I don't think Sneaky Ticklers get a job of ban out our assassin mid laner worked last game.
No.
Granted,
not.
Love Fear was probably the strongest person, like had one of the strongest games out of all the Sneaky Ticklers members on that Zed, so it's clear he can play at least a couple of assassins. But still, ideally, you don't want to ban out yourself.
And Sneaky Ticklers missing their first ban.
That's unfortunate.
And I'm not sure if they just actually missed the ban or if it was another issue, but we'll have to see. But Sneaky Ticklers coming out with the Fizz ban, so they're saying, no, we're sticking to the assassins.
I'm seeing in the chat that that's supposed to be an Ari, so we'll see if Cloud 10 lets them take that as an Ari ban or not. But, yeah, once again, sticking to mid lane bans, so...
And
They left the Caitlyn open.
And they're
Unless they
banned.
plan on taking the Caitlyn.
They banned out their LeBlanc again. I don't really dislike this choice from Sneaky Ticklers here. They didn't address any of the issues in that last match.
Yeah, they did ban away the Fizz, which was up last match, but Fizz wasn't really a big portion of Cloud 10's game. The main 2 players of that was the Caitlyn, which is being picked away right now, and the Nautilus, so...
And the Lee Sin, which goes back over to Cloud 10.
Yeah. Had a very good game on... Dubslaw had a very good game on that Lee Sin last round, so he'll be looking to maybe even improve upon that performance this time. Picking up the Nautilus as well, though, so... Taking 2 of their strongest picks from last game and keeping a tight lock on them.
Seems like they're going for the same comp they did last game. The only thing is that Sneaky Ticklers took away Caitlyn with their first pick.
Yeah, no, looks very much the same. Based off of the 2 picks so far, see the Zed coming out for Love Fear again. Can't complain about that one.
No.
He did a very good job on that Zed for most of that game.
See what Sneaky Ticklers' third pick will be.
And pick timer. Going with the Gragas. So that was banned out last game. So we didn't get to see it. Maokai was the replacement for that Gragas. So maybe with the bit of extra disruption that the explosive cast brings, that might help them out a little bit.
Yeah. It looks like Cloud10's hovering the Janna here, going for another disengaged champion. But they picked the Nami, another disengaged champion.
Yeah. Also, very strong laning support. And actually really nice as a takeaway, because Nami Caitlyn lanes can get pretty disgusting in the early game.
Yes. And honestly, I really prefer Nami to Zyra anyway. I think she just brings a lot more to a game than Zyra can, despite all the damage Zyra can output.
Well, I mean, a melee Zyra, yeah, sure. As we did see a couple times that game.
You didn't need to go
the brand
there, bro.
being banned out this time.
And Karma, so Cloud10 looking to leverage some bans at the support role, whereas Cloud10's starting to ban out the marksman role here.
Yeah, they're not too worried. That makes sense coming from Cloud10 because they're not too worried about the jungle since they've got their early jungle pretty secure with Lee Sin. And then between support, that leaves the support open as the only other one to really pinch. So Twitch and Vayne, kind of interesting to see those banned out, though. The Twitch I can see, but I don't exactly see Vayne doing all that well against Zed, Gragas, Caitlyn so far.
I feel like it's more a ban at the other two hyper carries. That
It appears that Jace has been locked in for Cloud10.
Yeah.
All right, so Jace versus Zed is the matchup here.
It could be 80 carry Jace. We never know.
Well, we did, I think, see that in Dominate once. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, and Fiora picked up.
Fiora lock-in.
So, Kingsland saying he's going to carry this game, and Sneaky Ticklers take the Janna, saying, again, anything you can do, we can do better. They did that once with their mid lane assassin bans, and now they're doing it again with the disengaged support. So
that just leaves the 80 carrier mid lane, depending on where that Jace goes. It's Kog'Maw. So looking for that late game power again in Cloud10's 80 carry, though it's fairly well matched by Caitlyn, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of don't really like this Kog'Maw pickup here. I know it's a late game scaling champion, but it's really, really difficult to protect.
Yeah. And ideally, while Nami is not bad at protecting a Kog'Maw, ideally you'd want to see someone like a Lulu or a Karma, which Cloud10 themselves banned out. So it is an interesting choice to bring in here. Jason, though, for the composition pick, I do like it because it does bring in that little bit of a mix of magic damage along with the standard 80 carry builds, because you do have that Jace in the mid lane and a Nautilus top who's really not doing a whole lot of damage.
But I feel like you could have brought in the Ezreal and done the same thing and been safer.
Yeah, but I don't see a whole lot that unless Kog'Maw's really out of position. Like, if Gragas is playing really well this game, because I'm guessing that's a jungle Gragas. If Gragas plays really well, then they may have a hard time, but I think that's why they have the Jace as well, just as that backup 80 carry. And with the poke between Jace and Kog'Maw, it could get pretty scary if Cloud10 get to a bit of a lead and start sieging some towers.
I suppose. It just seemed... I don't know, they'll have to sell it to me in game because right now I'm not buying.
Yeah. As for predictions as to how the game's going to go, I think early game we're going to see a split focus here with the jungle focus going to the top lane on the side of Sneaky Ticklers, and then Lee Sin camping on the bottom side for Cloud 10, try and get that Kog'Maw rolling, whereas Sneaky Ticklers really with this composition need that Fiora to become an absolute monster in the split push.
All right. And your thoughts, Harrison?
I predict that top lane's gonna have first blood, based on my experience.
Well, this coming from the guy who's involved in every first blood, whether he's taking it or giving it. So that's a pretty big shout out from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you were into Nihilus, I don't really like playing Fiora into Nihilus. I feel like not can win once he backs, but it depends on the skill level, and I think Fiora's gonna win the lane, but I'm not too sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this bot lane, obviously, it's should go over to Caitlyn and Janna, just from in terms of pressure, because Kog'Maw usually takes a while to ramp up, and it looks like we might have something interesting coming here into the game, but nah, it looks like the players are just playing around with us. They had switched the Jace and the Nautilus for a minute there before switching back, so I was gonna get a little hyped up for that. Try to see a Zed ult in onto a giant Nautilus. But we are denied our...
Yeah.
Okay, we're going. We have 2 minutes and 45 seconds before we can watch our game. We have in the top lane, Kingsland Fiora versus Spectre Nihilus. We have C9 Kindboy in the jungle on Gragas versus Dubslow on Lee Sin, and Zed on Love Fear on Zed, and Journal 27 on Jace, and Naderbugs on Caitlyn, and Hey What's Up, Hello on Kog'Maw. And we have Sad Shub on Janna and Arcane Killer on Nami. Should be an interesting game.
All right, so Unlimited, you've actually gone against Cloud 10 before. What are your thoughts on their team as a whole?
Well, their team has had some roster switches from Pekdar moving to the top lane, and they're kicking out their old top laner. Journal 27 played well, but new Cloud 10 seems to be doing well against Sneaky Ticklers.
Okay. Well, yeah, I can say based on my experience against them that despite the fact that their bot lane did well in last match, I'd say that's probably one of their weakest points. Arcanine Killer he definitely showed his melee form Zyra in the last match, which was kind of similar to what he showed in our matches against them as well. A lot of solo kills against him, which he also had against that Zed in the later moments of the match last game. So, I don't know, I think this is really going to come down to Dubslol and Picadar again in this match to see if they can reach the heights that they did in the last match. Note man, do you have any other thoughts coming into this?
It's kind of an interesting thing to look at, because for me, the big matchup here is in the mid lane, because Love Fear absolutely dominated in the early game.
Right.
On that Zed. But that being said, Jace is a bit of a tricky matchup for Zed, especially early on, thanks to Jace's range form, and even in the later stages, Zed ulties in. If Jace has his hammer out, he just hammers him away.
Right, and I'd like to point out that Jace opted for Exhaust against the Zed this time, or Journal did rather, and Zed again taking that Ignite. So it's a little bit of a safer thing.
It's very much a safer counter to the Zed, and you can see that's probably where Cloud 10 had the most fear coming in, was from Love Fear, and because that Zed had the opportunity to take over the previous game. Unfortunately, its Kadar got pretty tanky and was really able to disrupt the backline, and Dubslaw actually did a really good job of distracting Love Fear and his Zed play, kicking him away from the Caitlyn and making sure that Caitlyn just was able to sit there uninterrupted and just do damage. So it's unfortunate how that game turned out, but I think the emphasis will be on Love Fear again if Sneaky Ticklers want to take a win in this series and not get 2-0'd.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And the match is about to get underway. The teams are loading in now. And I am eating my words again.
That's why you give it a second.
There we go. And the game's been paused.
Yeah.
And Cloud 10, I think, has been involved in more pauses of the game than any other team in Risen.
This is actually from Sneaky Ticklers. Kindboy apparently had a client, or there was a client crash on the side of Sneaky Ticklers. Kindboy letting that one be known to the public.
Okay.
So.
You really are
Okay,
a kind
once
boy.
again-
We appreciate that knowledge.
Okay. Well, once the game starts, we'll be seeing Sneaky Ticklers looking for the reverse sweep against Cloud 10.
Yep, the 2-game reverse sweep. And, gotta prove that Sneaky Ticklers has more of Cloud 9 in them than Cloud 10.
Ooh. That's definitely an interesting thought. All right, I'm going to put the question to you guys then. Who wins this game?
I think overall, based on composition and just how well the game was played last time, I say Cloud 10. Though I do feel the opportunity is there for Sneaky Ticklers to take over this game.
Okay. And Unlimited?
I just want to see top lane and Pektar lose. That's all I'm here for.
All right, so are you saying your pick for this game is Sneaky Ticklers?
Yep.
All right, so we're split right now on the casters. We got one for Cloud 10 and one for Sneaky Ticklers. So we're just going to have to see how this goes. And since I'm lead caster today, I don't have to put an opinion on that one.
Oh, so what? You're Dash now on the analyst desk?
Exactly.
Just leave the discussions. You don't have to contribute anything.
Cloud 10 going for a 5-man invade on the blue side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Journal's
Nobody's
leading the
got it out
charge.
Yet, Love Fear might be seeing them. Does see Journal 27 there, and probably Kadar. I don't think he saw anyone else though, so looks like they will back off and disengage from that invade.
Yeah,
They do spell out Fiora, but nothing's happening.
It doesn't seem to really phase Sneaky Ticklers too much.
This might be a bad situation for Dubslaw. Oh, nope. They pulled out just in time for Dubslaw to make it by.
And Kindboy coming out with the Fnatic Gragas skin, saying that they are going to win the championship. Or at least this match.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully for Sneaky Ticklers, they've got either a Skara, good old Skara Gragas, or the man who that skin is for, Shushe, on that Gragas here. Though that skin was never a jungler skin.
No. So, Wow, you came out with some old-time knowledge there of League of Legends.
I have been involved in League of Legends for far longer than I feel I should have, and have followed the pro scene pretty closely.
See,
I don't know who Shusha is.
Yeah, me either.
Shusha was the old... I believe he was the mid laner for the Season 1 Fnatic team that won Worlds, or EU versus NA.
Really? I thought it was...
Season 1.
I thought it was Peke.
Season 1 Worlds was... Peke was on the team, but I do not believe he was... I think he was the top laner. Because don't forget that back then, the meta was extremely different. Fnatic actually was one of the leading teams to bring out the 80 carry support bot lane. Before then, it was typically you'd play like a bruiser along with somebody else in there, either a mage or marksman or something. But the marksman would not get all of the share of the farm. They would be split fairly evenly and a whole lot of stuff. Like, it was a very different meta at the time. So I believe I'm correct in saying that Peke was the top laner there.
Okay.
A bit of trading the lanes, Luffier having the flash out. And then leaves top lane, trying to gank the Fiora, but Fiora gets out.
And Caitlyn, caught by a bubble, takes a lot of damage, will get out with about 10% life. And
something may happen top lane. Oh, the flash Q! Auto. Oh, the flash. Fiora's
Flash is out in time. Dubsol not coming up on the response there.
Oh, Pector may be going down here.
Here comes the Gragas play. Does not explode the cask, and that might be
Time Boy might be going down first. And there he goes, Dubsol, first blood. Fiora is now between a rock and a hard place.
And Lee Sin just gives her the free way out.
Oh no.
That nice
good parry.
Reaction.
Beautiful parry.
Naderbug in trouble here.
He just keeps on catching those bubbles. Not really what you want to see out of the Caitlyn.
No.
Exactly as I predicted, the first blood happened top lane.
Yeah, no,
there
that's
you go.
Absolutely fair.
Unlimited calls it. Oh,
snipe coming.
Journal
Beautiful
27. Nice play.
And
you really have to be careful of that Zed burst. Or that Jace burst.
I mean, you're not wrong. You do have to be careful of Zed burst.
True.
And Naderbugs, what are you doing? Stop walking into the bubbles.
Alright, so what do you think of this pickup here by Sad Shop, going for the Ancient Coin on Janna?
I think it's probably the right choice. She doesn't have a whole lot of attack tools outside of her enhanced auto attack with her shield, so if you're playing more passively in lane, which if you're Naderbugs and get caught by every single bubble, you have to.
Right. Oh, that burst damage by Gragas.
Flash heal. Will it be enough to keep him alive? It doesn't look like it.
One more auto will do it.
Enough autos.
Oh, man. Oh, here comes Luffier, and he picks up the kill. He's baiting out that... Oh, he gets
and there's the bubbles.
By the bubble.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just Arcanine Killer is a god with bubbles.
Maybe.
And Dubsol gets in there for the cleanup. An assist going over to Kog'Maw, so at least he got something out of it.
Because you know Luffier wanted to dash back to his other shadow there, but...
They're trading top lane, but nothing major happening. Pector misses his Q.
Yeah, good dodge by Kingsland, so... That's going to be an interesting matchup. We'll have to see where it sways since the Nautilus was involved in First Blood. Good Shock Blast coming out. Not quite doing too much damage to the Gragas, though, at this point.
Alright.
Nothing really happening right now, just a bit of farming in the lanes.
So, Lee Sin ended up with that kill on Zed down in the bot lane, so he's starting off 2-0.
Yeah, that's I mean, from such a strong start last game, that's really not who you want to be getting rolling again in this game. Zed taking a lot of harass in the mid lane, takes the gated shot, and Kog'Maw and Cloud10 just asserting their dominance in the lanes, except for top lane, which they shouldn't be asserting dominance in.
Right. This is really not what I expected to happen down bot. This Caitlyn and Janna really should, I feel, be pressuring this Kog'Maw more than they are. But the fact that Naderbugs is walking into every bubble that Nami throws out is like killing their laning phase.
Yeah, the Naderbug should have a good lane against Kog'Maw because he does have that early range advantage as long as the W is not on for Kog'Maw.
Love you're down
that's a flash
again.
forward.
Another solo kill in mid lane going over to Journal 27. And this match is starting out as poorly as you can imagine for Sneaky Ticklers.
Yeah, but on the bright side, Unlimited, Kadar is the one doing the worst on Cloud10. So you got that at least going. But yeah, no, Journal 27 really turning it on with this Jace pick, giving Love Fear a little bit of payback for the beating he took in the early game last game.
Definitely. And it's going to be interesting to see if this Zed is going to be able to make an impact at all after this laning phase, because he might just fall too far behind.
Yeah, that's a real fear for Sneaky Ticklers right now, because Zed that's that far behind against fairly strong siege composition is not. Like, Zed is a good counter to siege compositions because he can get in and assassinate the carry. But if you don't have any damage because you just died repeatedly early on, you can't do that. So,
and Naderbug is dodging his first bubble. Congratulations to him and to Sneaky Ticklers for that accomplishment.
It's a Christmas miracle, guys. We have Christmas in May now.
But this Jace is just going ham right now. Cloud10 picking up an early Ocean Drake. Jace with an almost 30 CS lead on top of the 2 kills. And yeah, I don't see anywhere for the Zed to go in this matchup.
Yeah, it's really something. They need some lane to really get going, and at this point, the only lane that could possibly do that would be top lane, but Kadar is playing the matchup really well. He's just letting the Fiora push him in and clearing the waves. That's all he needs to do in this matchup.
Right, and he got the early armor cloak to try to mitigate some of the Fiora damage. Again, I probably would have preferred to see him go with like at least one Doran's ring to give him some mana regen. But
oh, there's the bubble.
Got caught by a bubble.
A little bit of harass, nothing serious. Love Fear getting chunked. That's a kill. Journal 27, where were you last game?
yeah, Journal's really showing up.
There's the bubble dodge. Applause. Applause is needed here. But yeah, no, Journal 27 is taking over this game, and hey, what's up below? He's just not being punished for a Kog'Maw pick.
Yeah.
And a
Gang
King's
top
Land
lane,
with
there's nothing.
another
Oh.
clutch riposte before, but they
Yeah.
do get the flash out of him up top. So you can look to see
Yeah.
this Lee Sin
But-
coming up top again.
Oh, absolutely, and that's really the only place that Lee Sin needs to be, because, as I was saying, that's where Sneaky Ticklers is going to get an advantage at all in this game. So if
The
Lee
only
Sin
way
is up
that-
there camping, it's not going to happen.
No, is
Love
that
Fear.
jumping onto the double slow, is flashing out. The ult, he comes out, he's chasing, getting ulted away. He's going in, he might
Oh, he
get the
gets
kill.
the
He
kill.
does.
That's a kill.
So good job by Love Fear there picking up the kill on the Lee Sin. And that really is going to be his only way back into this game, is to rotate and pick up those solo kills, or kills on the side lane.
Sneaky Ticklers going for the Rook throw, but Jace might spot him out, and he does.
But without Dubslol there to contest it, it's really a good call. But do they really have to? Oh, here it comes. And they do get it.
Fight's coming in.
Sneaky Ticklers does have the Rift Herald.
Oh, I shut it down. Oh, double kill coming in for Journal.
Wow.
Taking down both
It's going to be a
Journal and
triple
Zed.
here. He's got more than enough mana.
Triple
There's
kill
the
coming in for
triple.
Journal 27. He's really popping out this game. 6-0. And it's 12 minutes into the game.
And the outplay by Jace there. He looked dead to rights there up in the corner, but he pulled it out somehow. And down goes this Caitlyn. Kog'Maw picking up a kill for himself.
Yep.
I really feel that this is a nail in the coffin for, like the last nail in the coffin for Sneaky Ticklers. They have to get their top lane turned into Smeb and carry them, otherwise they're not going to win.
And the big thing about that Rift Herald, even though Sneaky Ticklers did pick it up, I don't think any of them were able to pick up the Eye. Or whatever the new item is called, because I don't see it in anyone's inventory. So, if that's the case, a triple kill for a Rift Herald that you don't even get the buffs for.
Oh, no, Zed took it.
Zed got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
he
I
did,
see it.
yes,
It's
he
in his trinket, yeah. So, I mean, actually, that's not a bad choice to have it on Love Fear. I mean, not that they had a choice on who to give it to.
Kind
but...
boy going on. Hey, what's up, hello? There's trading top lane, which is blocking my view of the fight bot lane.
Kingsland is taking the worst of that fight, too.
Oh,
Picador
absolutely.
already picking up the Sunfire Cloak. 4 assists on him. And Sade even in CS, so Kingsland already put behind in the top lane, too, just because of the roaming of Jace and Lee Sin.
Yeah, and Lee Sin's coming up again. Will be wrapping up behind the tower. Fiora tries to dash away. She already used her riposte, so that's gone.
A real clean tower dive by C10.
Yeah, Sneaky Ticklers is trying to respawn with the first tower blood, and they should be able to get it here. Gragas knocking away the Nami, making sure that doesn't go anywhere. So, I mean, they do get the first tower gold, which isn't bad, but they should be able to pick up the second tower in the top lane.
Yeah, and that's a good job by Sneaky Ticklers, staying level-headed enough to actually pick that first tower blood up, and not just giving up because of the super tilting way this game has started out.
Yeah. It's the little things that are going to really matter in this game, because there isn't a whole lot going on for Sneaky Ticklers right now. So getting that first tower gold, especially with it going somewhat to Kog'Maw, is really nice. Or not Kog'Maw, Caitlyn, sorry. It's a pretty good startup to have. And
Zed
interesting
dropping...
pop of the Rift Herald.
It looks like he dropped it to help him just clear wave.
Yeah, I think he just did that to clear the pressure off of his face. And it goes down immediately, and so does Love Fear. Time Boy looking to follow suit behind. Caitlyn getting kicked away, will follow up with the resonating strike. And that's 2 kills for nothing there. And the Rift Herald buffed on. So, yeah. Sneaky Ticklers, you don't have much left.
No,
Kingsman going for the ult. Vector misses his Q, but he has no mana to continue.
Yeah.
No, he's going back in, and
an Infernal Drake going over to Cloud 10.
Been destroyed.
And yeah, that... I don't really see much of a way for Sneaky Ticklers to come back in this one. I think this is heading the way of a rout.
I mean, this is still, what, bronze, silver, low gold, elo, so you never know. If my solo queue teams have taught me anything, it's that you never have a big enough lead.
True. That is definitely true. We'll,
So
we'll say that.
half health on Love Fear with
Wow.
1 Q does say a little bit.
Yes, it does. But yeah, there is one maybe addendum to that, is that these teams, for the most part, have been playing with each other now for 7 weeks. So I would give the heads up to these teams over any just random solo queue team that's brought together.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, both teams have been playing together for 7 weeks, so it might equal out, but
Neither.
Yeah. I can't really blame Caitlyn on that one for catching that bubble. She flashed, but unfortunately was exhausted, and there's not much you can do about dodging a bubble exhausted. And that's a legendary journal, man. Sell it to get lots of cash.
8-0-1.
There's no other games to know.
Black Cleaver and Yomu's already completed. He's not even bothering going with a tier for the Miramana build. He wants immediate damage right now.
40 CS lead. Yeah, 40 CS lead in mid, 50 CS lead in bot, and even CS in top lane. This is not really going well for Sneaky Ticklers, and that's Dubslaw with another successful tower dive.
And this Kog'Maw 3-1-3, that is not the champion you want to see having any positive scoreline at all.
And they did have a good chance on Kog'Maw there, but Gragas
Hero's going on. You're at it. Nalus right now, and he might go down. If
He pops the
He's
ulti
flanking
with
his.
the 4 tags.
the flash coming in, the flash, Q.
Oh,
Slow.
that was a beautiful flash to stop the hook from going through, and it will be enough to take Kadar
Goes
down.
down.
And he lives.
makes
Good
it out
job by
alive.
Kingsland.
That's all I want to see this game. That's all I wanted to see.
It's like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to cast anymore.
And hey, what's up? Hello. You're a little out of position, but it looks like he's fine anyways, and we'll just 1v4 the team. No problem.
I think he was saying there, hey, what's up? You're low. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, chat. I had to.
That killed me.
My puns are so
I'm
bad,
dead.
I'm killing my fellow casters.
TP coming mid lane, they look to be siege on the mid turn. If Lugbeer stays, he'll be chunked down by EQ. See.
Wow, and this tower down to 1/3 health already.
Yep. So
We were about 20 minutes in and the score is 3-15. I don't think that Sneaky Ticklers have a way to win this game at all.
yeah, 2 dragons to nothing, and better yet, 2 of the better dragons for sieging and split pushing and doing all that kind of stuff. So
I know.
there's not.
I know as a Kog'Maw, an Ocean Drake gives you almost 3 extra casts of your ult. So that is definitely a favorite Drake for a Kog'Maw.
Yeah. And
Cloud10 has a 10k gold lead right now over Sneaky Ticklers.
yeah, these are the games that are the worst to cast, because after a point, it's only so funny saying, haha, this team sucks.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't really say Sneaky Ticklers sucks. It's just
But
Yeah.
in the context of this game,
true.
there's not much that we can say that's going well for them.
No, definitely not.
It's just basically a challenger team versus TSM.
And Cloud10
I don't know which way you're going with that joke.
and Cloud10 taking a free Baron. It's at 21 minutes. There's no wards of this at all for Sneaky Ticklers.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hello, in a bit of trouble. We'll be going down to the... Almost didn't go down to the Zed.
He scared me there for a second.
Luckily enough, Lovefear did have the Shadow waiting just in case his ulti didn't kill. But
Ooh.
Fiora is dead.
That hammer must have looked gigantic if you were in the eyes of Fiora.
You know, on the bright side, you took the Nautilus ulti for your life, so, you know, at this point, that's worth. You made them burn cooldowns.
True.
You just gotta engage on them immediately before you respawn, and you'll be fine.
You know, I was thinking before this snowball got underway that both teams really picked kind of odd comps because both teams went super heavy on AD and both had a true tank champion, you know, and Gragas and Nautilus. So whichever team got their tank ahead first was most likely going to win the game because the other team wouldn't have the damage to out damage the tank. But then Cloud10 came out with this snowball, and it's proving true my thoughts, but
that's actually what I really liked about the Kog'Maw pick, though. Is because the Kog'Maw adds just enough mixed damage that it's not like it's an all AD comp. It almost feels like a mixed comp. Even if it's not quite. But either way, like, there's not much you can do when a Jace goes 9-0-1.
And there goes Lovefear again,
10-0-1.
and Caitlyn goes down.
And an inhibitor, maybe. Oh no, he's backing out.
Inhib
tower in the bot lane will be going down, though.
I don't know why Jace needs to have any respect there at all, because there's no one on that team who can deal with him, even in a 2, maybe even a 3v1.
With enough CC stacked just right, he might have some trouble, but I mean, it's better safe to be sorry, right? Keep your KDA like super high.
He's definitely trying to pad his stats line in this game.
Yeah,
There's any strict lands on the King's Lane, but that's happening. Flucker going in here with a pillow, but does not pick up the kill. Oh wait, he does. Never mind.
Psych!
But Dubswall picks up the return kill. Kadar, your tanking tower's a little too much. Flashes away from the redemption heal, does get back in there. So, should be fine.
Caitlin's gonna go down any minute now? Or not?
Donna gets the save. The only thing that Donna's good for in this game right now. And that's it. 24 minutes. 25 kills, most of them going to Cloud10. What more do you have to say?
Yeah, the clean sweep for Cloud10. I bet you Lovefear was wishing he had Janna in his lane for that game. Their team probably would have done better for it, honestly. 4-9 on
possibly.
11-0-1 on the Jace for Journal 27. Definitely MVP of that game. And after that,
I mean, he had an infinite KDA.
Indeed. And after that performance, on top of the good Fizz performance, I think I have to give my MVP of the match to him, despite the great job on Lee Sin by Dubswall.
I'd honestly, personally, I'd give it to Lee Sin, because Lee Sin was involved in the first blood this game.
Okay.
Well, I believe he was last game as well, and just overall in the early game, just helped keep things under control really well. I didn't like Journal's Fizz game.
Yeah,
I don't think he contributed enough for this match. Absolutely MVP, but
last game he did get a quad kill though. So there's
all right.
that.
Well, Unlimited, looks like you're the decider. Who's the MVP of this match? Not just this game, but the match overall.
The match overall. I didn't see last game, so I can't say that. I mean, I would just go with Jace, Journal 27. And he became a faker that game, just solo killing Zed over and over and over.
Okay.
Really seeing his lead.
Well, I guess there you have it. Journal 27 with the MVP of the match in a split decision. So let's see if we can actually get him in here for an interview.
Carson, do you need to...
Oh, looks like someone's mom came into the stream there for a moment.
sucker. I'm 25. I don't need to worry about this. I'm in my own apartment.
Hi, Harrison's mom. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm on his team. I'm his support. We're taking good care of him here at Risen Esports. All right, let's see if we can get Journal in here for a second.
Hello.
Hello, Journal. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. It was definitely a pleasure watching your Jace. What are your thoughts coming off of that 11-0-1 performance?
Well,
There you have it, people. Well.
Beautiful. True poetry.
Sorry.
I don't
So-
know.
Right.
Like,
That last game you carried, you went like 11 and
could have
0.
done better.
You could have done better. You're 11 and 0.
Yeah.
And you said you could have done better.
Well, Hey What's Up
Um,
Hello did beat him in
yeah.
CS.
He did. So I want to ask, since you ended up facing the Zed twice, how did you approach the second game? Because you didn't really have that hot of a first game against the Zed.
So, the first game I was playing Fizz, so it was a melee on melee, and I feel like he had advantage. But the second game on Jace, I definitely had the advantage in lane, and I think with just that advantage, like, and just that advantage alone probably allowed me to win the lane and game.
All right. Unlimited, do you have any questions for Journal that you'd like answered?
Let me think. Give me 1 minute to think of a question.
Okay. Did you really think that it was going to be such a snowbally victory coming into the second game, or did you think it was going to be pretty close like the first one?
Well, I knew that in the second game, if I was able to get ahead, and as well as the rest of my team, it would be a really fast game. So there was that mindset behind my head that I had to win lane or at least go even with Zed to be able to snowball and win.
Okay. So in the first game, obviously it was a lot closer, so it's a bit more interesting to look at. There was a moment in that game where you ended up losing 3 towers in the span of like a minute and a half, and that puts you like you guys had a bit of a gold lead at that time, but that evened it out really closely. But you made some good calls to come back. What were the communications with your team like at that time?
So in the first game, I constantly had TP up, so my team and we were just thinking I will go split in a side lane, because at that point I felt confident in 1v1ing at least half of the team. So I was going to split in the side lane while everyone else group mid or in the opposite lane and just run it down, and I'll TP whenever I need to. And I think my pressure side lane it wasn't the best, but I think it did help, because it was either I keep pushing to their nexus or they deal with me.
Okay. And let's get some opinions from Picadar and Hey What's Up Hello, who have also joined us.
Before we do that, I'd like to ask them a question.
Okay.
Jordan Space 7, rate all the mid laners in the Rampage. Like, who do you think is the best mid laner in the Rampage League?
I don't really follow much of the stats, but if I had to say one person, I would think it might actually be Victorious Azir, because when I played against him, both in random customs and in our match, he played really well, and I haven't experienced. I'm not really confident on my memory of other mid laners, but he's the one that stands out.
Okay. And Picador, if you're talking, you're muted right now, by the way. There you
No,
go.
I am not talking.
All right, so we got
All right.
most of the rest of the team in here. How do you guys feel about the victory? What did you guys really try to focus on going into that second game?
Definitely when it came down to the second game. So obviously the first game was a lot closer. The second game we were actually a little kind of concerned with our comp. We were a lot of AD, but we know that Journal can snowball really hard off of Jace, and he's really good at hitting those fucking long range shock blasts. And so honestly, I think our confidence in Journal and him pulling it out for us was what really gave us the advantage, gave us an early win.
Okay. And Picador, I know chat has been spamming us interviewing you, so how was your top lane matchup against a Kingsland? Chirp, chirp.
Well, there you have it. That's all you need.
Yo, PK.
Decent carried.
All right.
That's what I was
Decent carried both games.
that's what I was saying. The other casters don't believe me.
It was all me.
Well,
I give credit to
I know. I
Ethan,
heard
so-
you say that, and I was like, "Yeah, this guy knows what's up."
no, definitely
all we said.
Picador
That
carried some of those fights.
that
I will
being
give
said, I think Hey What's Up Hello had the most insane stat that I've seen
Did
in
do
quite a
very
while
well.
in tournaments.
That was very good.
He did have 50,000 damage.
Which is weird because he never plays Caitlyn.
They banned Vayne, and we were kind of just like, all right, well, Kate it is, I suppose.
Okay.
And
So-
going
so-
into the second game with the Kog'Maw pick, it was kind of just like, well, they got dumped last game, so, we'll pick Cog because we have a lot of AD. Throw in a little magic damage and stump them again.
And staying on the bot lane, I gotta ask, Arcanine Killer, how did you not miss bubbles?
Yo, I'm glad you guys are-
dirty Bob,
Yo,
buddy.
yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't play Nami that much. Definitely not one of my preferred champions. But I was playing that random game mode or whatever earlier, and I accidentally picked Nami. So then I was like, all right, yo, I already played her today. Like, I feel confident in hitting some of these bubbles. I just went out there and I performed.
Yeah, we did originally think it was a little odd that you guys banned out Karma and then picked the Nami and then picked Kog'Maw when Karma and the shields is usually what you want for a Cog. So yeah, but then you
We're
came out and landed
super
every
concerned.
single bubble aside from like 2 we were counting against that Caitlyn. So yeah, it was definitely pretty interesting.
Honestly, I felt really bad because there's one point where she was just under the turret. I knew she couldn't see me. I was like standing behind like by the tri-brush, and I just popped her with a random bubble for no reason. I honestly felt so bad about it.
All right. Well, there is one other thing I have to bring up, Arcanine. To kind of contrast your Nami play there, what was up with melee mode Zyra?
Oh, yo, so I actually die for the team there. So if you really look, all right, so I'm the shot caller for the team. If you really look into the first game, I died twice in a row to the Zed. He got me. He did, but we won off of that push. It was because I died and stopped his back. I promise.
This is true.
OP, the true carry.
Yeah.
Nah, honestly, I get lost in the team fights, I guess.
I did give out a bit of a chuckle in the first game when you actually managed to survive a team fight around the Baron Pit.
Yeah. Honestly, it's really lucky sometimes. Honestly, I just expect to die, and then sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I have just a little bit of health and no one's hitting me. I'm gonna flash away and live for a little bit.
You do die like every fight we have.
I do, but I feel like whenever I
But
die,
we always
in
win 'em,
fights,
so it's
we win
okay.
the fights. So
Exactly.
that's how it goes.
That's how support goes.
I
You,
know, like my
you lay
win
out
rates
your
honestly
one
suck.
rotation and then explode.
Yeah, and then hope your team wins it.
You
And then
just
drop a
pray you can
redemption.
get your ulti
Yeah,
off before you die.
That's why redemption is the greatest gift to supports ever.
I know, it's like you can get blown up and still help your team win the fight at the end.
You should be able to lock it when you're dead too.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, your team just camps over your dead body.
All right. Well, does anyone else have any questions for these guys?
If we're all wrapped up, then I got one that's a fairly solid final question.
Okay.
So we're heading into playoffs here. Who are you looking at as your big hurdles?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I don't think we have a concern with anybody.
I think we're gonna wipe the floor with
We
everybody.
kind of we haven't taken it super seriously. Like we've come into some games. Like we were drunk one week, another week. You know, we were just we didn't do any research, and I'm pretty sure we picked like a. It was a bad comp. I'm pretty sure I played Team on
Is that
Top
the
that
Soraka
week.
game?
Oh,
Yeah, Team Top and Soraka. So like we've been fucking around, and it's be pretty easy here on out.
I disagree. I think that
Nah, Team
we
Pentium is
did.
not good.
Yeah, and I mean we also lost to Lag, and I mean that's definitely. a team
Lag's
that you wanna
also
come
really
back
good,
and
too.
beat.
I think those are probably the top two
I was
teams.
pretty upset when we lost to them, honestly. So, because we really did try, and I felt bad that we lost that game. So, I'm definitely looking forward to facing them again.
Well, I mean, coming from Lag, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I gotta say that you guys have definitely seemed to have improved a lot since the changes that came after that series. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys beat TPM, and they can throw out all the excuses they want about what happened in that game, but you did beat them in a very good series, and you've looked pretty strong since then. So,
Thank you, dude.
I look forward to playing against Spectre top lane. He's pretty good top lane, but he's not the best. I am pretty sure that I could beat him.
His
If I
nickname-
try.
He's actually
Ban Nautilus.
his nickname is
No,
PK Feeder.
Pick Nautilus.
PK the
No.
Feeder.
Yeah, that's what we call him, PK the Feeder.
it's
like,
all right.
we play,
Unlimited
like,
here
randoms with
is
them.
he's our first Blood King. You know, it doesn't matter whether he gets it or not,
Yes.
but he's always involved in it. So.
It's alright, dude. Feeding away first blood's almost the same as getting first blood.
All right, so I guess we're gonna call it quits for the interview, and I'm gonna like slowly bring this stream to a close. Give some music to
Right,
you fine
awesome.
chat who's listening in on all this. So good game, you guys, and thank you for the.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Peace.
Later,
Yeah.
guys.
All right, so I guess that's it. You want to do a wrap?
You know what? Let's leave it to Unlimited here. He joined us for the second game. Thank you for joining us as well, Unlimited. So wrap it up, man.
Yeah, and today the stream's over. We're closing the stream. Cloud10 won against Sneaky Ticklers 2-0. And, yeah.
Hey, get out of here.
And all right.
What? Yeah. There we
I
go.
can't believe that just happened on stream with everyone. It's gonna become a meme.
It's happened twice now in like the last 10 minutes.
It's there, Unlimited. You've created a new meme for Risen Esports. Thank you.
Okay, and one last thing I'd like to say. Follow Unlimited Gamers on Snapchat.
Okay, so there you have it, everyone. Strong words
Yeah.
from Cloud10 saying that they're not really worried about anyone else in this series come playoffs. And this is it for us with Risen Esports. Nope, man, thanks for joining us for the first time as well.
No problem. It was a pleasure.
All right, and hopefully we'll see you back soon.
Yeah. Good night.
Good night, everyone.